Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming along to our talk this afternoon. My name's Gary Parlett, and I'm the founder and managing director of Answer. I suspect we're probably keeping many of you from lunch at the moment, but I'm trusting you're going to be rewarded because what we're going to show you this afternoon is a very exciting project that we're in collaboration with Leeds teaching hospitals. And I'm delighted to say I've got two very significant members of the project team here with me today. Dickson, lead nurse, who's just waved, and Richard Walker, who's the Answer Scrum Master working on the project. But firstly, I'd like to introduce Answer to you. This is our debut at EHI. We're very excited about being here, and we are, I guess, relative newbies to the world of the NHS as well. But as I think the animation probably showed you, we've been around for over 15 years now and done extensive work in the corporate world. Our journey into the NHS started in 2011 when we were approached by King's College Hospital. They found us after looking at a case study around a parcel tracking company called Hermes, and they'd seen enough in the case so to understand that, well, to spot that we understood middleware integration quite extensively on a large scale, but also what they did spot was, I think, a tone in what we do, which is all about collaboration. So I guess unlike a lot of the vendors here today, we're quite different, I think, in the sense that we're looking to create innovation for the NHS that is owned by the NHS, as we did and do with all our corporate clients. So despite being found by King's, it was on the back of a very successful project, and King's presented us with a number of challenges. You may be familiar with some of these. The first one was they had a drop-dead date for their tie of 12 months. Their in-house team was very specialist in Microsoft technologies, but they wanted to implement a Java middleware platform, and they had unusually a minuscule budget. Fortunately, and despite the fact that obviously based in Leeds, South London wasn't the most accessible place, we took up the challenge, and pleasingly for me, the results have been hugely impressive. We didn't know then we were creating a first for the NHS, but delighted we've done so. And it was through King's that we were introduced to Leeds, our local hospital trust. And again, all our work is referral. We tend to think we're sort of our customers' best kept secret, but King's were delighted to introduce us to Leeds, and what we're going to show you this afternoon, or what Joe's going to show you particularly this afternoon, is a real live project which we've been working on with them in collaboration since September. Joe, come and show some magic.
My name's Jo Dickson. I'm lead nurse and chief nursing informatics officer for Leeds teaching hospitals. Quite a few colleagues in the audience from Leeds this afternoon, so obviously I'm going to share with you some of the things that we've been doing over the last year. I kind of just wanted to say, first of all, there's a big life-size photo of me around the corner that says, "Hi, I'm Jo, I'm a software designer." That's what I am now, which is quite a scary thought for me, because actually it's not what I am. I'm a nurse. I'm a very clinical-based nurse. You'll see I've got my uniform on. If you look around the corner at that photo, that is me day to day, working in a uniform, working with my clinical colleagues at ward level. I'm not a software designer, and until about a year ago, I had very limited involvement with any kind of IT project at all. I'd been involved on the periphery of IT projects as the sort of end user, I guess, and involved in some work that had been happening within the trust. What I hadn't thought was possible was that I was going to be the person who was actually producing the end product, I guess. It wasn't something that I thought happened, where clinicians and developers had that very real-time relationship to be able to develop software. What has absolutely happened over the last year is that working with the team at Leeds Teaching Hospitals, that we very much are clinicians working directly with software developers to develop a project, to develop a product that has come to fruition over really quite a short period of time. Gary's asked me to talk you through a little bit around the project work that we've been doing most recently, which is around the development of our electronic whiteboards. So I was just going to sort of run through what you can see here on the screen, which is the view of our e-whiteboards. We are a large acute teaching hospital, around 1,800 beds. We have got approximately 110 wards based across 4 sites. So fairly complex in terms of acute teaching hospitals and any other type of NHS organisation, I would say. We are now live in 98 at last count of our inpatient wards with these electronic whiteboards. We started out on a journey which was us sort of saying, we've got this quite good product, or we think it's quite good. We are prepared to buy you a TV if you'd like one, ward sister. Would you like one? Kind of thinking that lots of them would say, actually, I can't see any value in this product that you're giving to me. I don't know what it's going to do for me as a ward sister, and I'm really not that bothered. That's absolutely not what we found. In the main, most of our wards and departments are asking us to, when are you going to get to us? When are we going to get a whiteboard? They were really keen to get involved with the project, and what I would say is that that's been one of the really key benefits, is that this has been a product that's developed over time. So although the concept for the ideas came from the heads of some of the people in the room here today, including myself, what's absolutely happened is the progression through from that initial idea and concept into something that looks like it does here. It didn't start out looking like it does here. It looked something very different. You'll see one of the big examples is the fact that the patient's names are colour coded. It's not pink, by the way, it's purple. It's purple, I promise. I picked it. It's purple, it's not pink. But this was in direct reaction to a comment that came back from many of our wards and departments, where they were trying to manage their single-sex accommodation within the wards and departments. So they needed to be able to see at a glance, whether patients were male or female, in order that they could work out which bays were going to be used for various different patients. But we'd not considered that as a starting point. In my head, or the team of us that were sitting there, most of our wards and departments were single-sex anyway, so I didn't think it was going to be something that would be needed. But it was identified as something that was needed, and within a space of about 4 to 6 weeks, we were able to, it was actually more quickly than that, but we were able to get it tested and turned on within that 4 to 6 week period, where we were able to show that to people. As you walk along the screen, each of the different columns and sections of the screen have been agreed by a group of us, and that's been a group of clinical and technical people sitting in a room together, having those very direct conversations about what's going to work. I aren't familiar with typical models of how you do IT software development, because it's not something I've done before, but I'm sure the guys can much more easily than me explain why this is different. But certainly I found it a really great process to be involved in. Being able to sit in the room with somebody who is going to develop the piece of software that I, as the end user, are then going to put out there in our wards and departments has been really crucial to the development and the progression of this product. If you look across the screen, there's a couple of things in there that have changed. So we have a column which is called expected date of discharge. So it's something that we set on each of our patients coming into hospital. A year ago, before the whiteboards, routinely we had issues around it wasn't being set for patients. We weren't setting expected dates of discharge, and it was having a significant impact on our length of stay, because there's a lot of evidence out there that says if you talk to a patient on admission about when they're going to be going home, they and their families can start to plan for that where it's appropriate, because obviously we can't do it with every patient. But they'll start to plan for that going home. So we've dovetailed alongside the implementation of the IT product, the transformational part of the project, which is to encourage all staff to work with patients to set an expected date of discharge at point of admission or as near to it as possible. We've also done another piece of work around something called Ticket Home, which is another national transformational innovation type project, which is where people are actually given a piece of paper that's got their expected date of discharge on it. So what we've tried to do is, in all elements of this, is develop the IT product alongside other transformational clinical pieces of work that are happening. The columns that are on the right hand side, we chose as a starting point, as a group of us came up with. We've aligned them with our Sequin targets for this year, so there are quality indicators. So you'll see if you come and have a closer look at it, there's a column for dementia risk assessment. So it's one of our high priority areas. Obviously we have a financial target attached to that, so that means that there was some benefit for us as an organisation in managing this and monitoring it more closely, but also from a quality of care and a patient experience perspective, the fact that we can so clearly demonstrate now that we are risk assessing those appropriate patients of ours who need a dementia risk assessment in real time is really, really powerful. That's probably enough from me around how the whiteboard has developed. I'm going to hand back over to Gary, I think.
There's going to be a few little handovers, I'm afraid, but I think maybe you got a sense there that the project is very much evolving, very much adopting and accepting of change throughout, because it's all about, it's never going to be invented straight away. It's a moving project and a very live project, and I'm going to invite Richard to come and talk about some of the processes behind liberating Joe into becoming a software designer. Thank you, Joe.
Hi everybody, my name's Richard Walker. I'm the Managing Principal and Certified Scrum Master. From an answer point of view, the biggest challenge that we faced when we arrived at Leeds was how could we nurture and apply 15 years of building software for our customers in the private sector? How could we apply that to the NHS and the public sector? We're often faced with our customers who say, you're the IT experts, we'll tell you what you want, you go away and build it. And we say, no, that's not how we work. We want to work in a collaborative way. We need to work with the person from or persons from your organisation who can help us prioritise on a daily basis, continually verify the solution as it emerges, make those decisions with us and direct the team. And by team, I mean a team of multidisciplined people, testers, developers, designers, architects, the whole team. And that's what we want to do. And when we arrived at Leeds, we're trying to look for that person. And in Joe, we found one of those people that can work with us and direct the team in what we want to do. So that's half the battle, finding the product owner, as we call them, to make those decisions. But then we've got to have a process that nurtures that, and helps that. And it's based on a number of agile principles. I'm just going to go through a couple of those principles. So first of all, we need to focus on the business need, or in this case, the clinical need. Why are we doing this? And everything that we do, the team have to understand what is the benefit to do that. When we capture our requirements, we do them using user stories. As a user, as a nurse using the system, I want to be able to do this because it gives me this benefit. And that tells the team, why we're doing it and what's the benefit. And that helps us prioritise our work. We also need to deliver on time. Now that's quite a statement. How do you deliver on time? Well, in our case, it's breaking the work down into manageable chunks, into time box periods, what we call sprints. And within that sprint, we want to take a user story, build it, develop it, test it, get product owner approval for it, with the objective at the end of the sprint, we've got a functionality that could potentially go live. And in the case of most of those columns, they were delivered within a sprint or two. So Joe would come down, talk through the process, we'd deliver it, and it would go live within a month. So that's the agile process working. Third principle, develop iteratively and collaboratively. And that is really important. I think historically, systems have been documented in big business requirements documents, 200-page narrative. That doesn't work. You can't describe a system like that. It just doesn't work. Hand that document from team to team. Things get miscommunicated. It just doesn't work. What we like to do is get something up and running. Get something up there early so that Joe can see it. That might be in the form of mock-ups, prototypes, HTML. It could be any of those. But as soon as Joe can see that system working, she can then feed back. We can refine the solution and we iteratively go around that loop. As many show and tell demonstrations as we can, feed it back, and that's how you build software. And that's the best way to do it. And collaboration, again, at all levels. The whole talk is about the collaboration between clinical people and IT people like myself, and within the team. And that's the message that we're giving today.
We have got this running live for demonstrations in our stand just next door if you want to come and have a look at it. Also, another plug in terms of innovation, if you're having your light bulb moment, we're trying to get ideas together, and the prize is the best idea we will work with in terms of bringing a proof of concept together to realise that idea for real. Okay? Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.